way. On page Reish Samach, in the RASHASH Siddur, says L'hamshik ma'alef dekane, which we just learned, and the question was what's the big significance about using kone, and I figured that's the end of the line in terms of Akyeh, the spread of the Akyeh. Then it turns into Gimels. You can also see that it's three sides, which is 189. Im shloshim ha'osio sehem, which is each of the sags is 10 letters, and you take the 30 letters you add on, you get 219. So then he says that just the statement that actually came from the Tiv, or from the Shar Kavanos, is that it comes to Raya. But of course it doesn't, it comes to 219. So now at the very bottom, we have number Aleph down here. Let me see if I can get it. Number Aleph says, he says, Ki ha'achas ha'miyuseris. In other words, there's a B'kol Havayot, because each one of them has an extra one number to get you to 260. Mehem hu b'b'chinas ha'klal sheba. So this is a note that we just read in the Shar Rabbanos. So he says, he shows you where it is, Sadi Daled Amadal. So let's go back up to the top and let's see it again. Here he says, you can see the crooked aleph, or the aleph the way he draws it. And the Tivuk Avanos, it looks a little cleaner, and just like a regular aleph, but just big. So this aleph is something special, and because it's a raya. So after that, there are 9 other letters. I'm not sure what the significance it is, but he says this aleph actually shows you that even in Akyeh, which is Ima, you have already a raya there. Then somehow it transfers itself into 3 sags. So the actual business of this into sags, a little base of it, we'll pick that up. And you see the 3 sags. So you take 3 sags, and then down below those here at the beginning, he says they're osios. So these are just the osios. So you're counting 30 across the first one, next to the little letter B, B. And then you have the mispar, which is the gematrias, each of one of them, and you're trying to put all that together. So I want to go down to the bottom and look at number bet here. And it says like this, B'derek Klal, generally speaking, he says, B'dechidah mispar v'achar kach osios. Now this seems to be significant to me. He says that normally what you have is you have the gematria, then you have the letters. But in the Yare, Masuda Osios, it has the other way. He has the letters, and then in other words, the count of the letters, and then after that he has the gematria, v'achar mispar. Also you see other in the Modfas, I'll say there's that. So then they're all Sidrano, I'll say they're there. So we put it like that. He says, Efsher, but Efsher, Kavi, McCaven, Shaha Osius, Yosef Shuvos. Now that's what I wanted to see. I look at these combinations in the Rashash and I see, well, where does first my question is where does the rule, the principle that allows the Rashash, or the Rav really, to say that you could add and subtract different pieces in order to make it come out to be 216. So, but that's what he does. So he's presenting it as a fact. But here he says the rule is for after the Kamen Shah Osios Yosef Hashuva. So the letters are really, just counting the letters is more chashuv mispar from the gematria. Well, I would have thought it was the other way around. No, he's saying that the letters really hold, I guess, because they're like what? I don't know what they're like with the relationship to, like there is a pashut and a mole and a mole and a mole. And then it's like the pashut because it's just a letter without, I don't know, without a number. I don't know. Okay, we'll wait. So we'll wait for Rebbe to come back, but we're still working here. Okay. All right. So he says that the numbers, just counting numbers, is more chashuv than the gematrias. And he explains the counting, the gematria is in malchus, and osius are from zero on. So that's all information I don't think I ever had before. I'm not sure that I ever thought that osius were in zero on, and I thought the osius were in malchus. He says that should ultimately they wind up in the mispar is in malchus and the osius in zero. Let's go on at the top. He says, where is this going to go? It's going to go to Hacham Bagadati. So you have Bati, the Ben, the Ma, but the Ben, the Bina. So we're going to take this as the Bina. We're going to give it to the left side of Bina, which is going to be the Ben, the Ma, and the Ben, the Ben. So exactly the significance of that, not sure. But here it is, the Hamshek Vok Shalamochim Vaharayo. So we're going to say we're going to take all of this, and this is the depiction of the flow chart, and these are the oros that are coming down. I believe that the Kasa, I said this last time, for running with Ira way back when, is this is the Moach. This is the Yud Vav Dalid and the K Yud that you have just still by themselves. That's and the Moach, I believe. So these are oros inside of the Moach, and then we're coming over here to this actual transfer of this light, and you see the three sides and the mispar. So he has first he has the osius, then he has the midfar. All of this being referenced by the aleph that's in this transfer somehow, and it's going into that. Then he says, where is this going? It's going to Chabad Chagat. It's going to the top part. The Ach, the Chochma, the Kesed, the Bina, the Nuk. So it's going to the Nuk, and it's going into the Bina, the Nuk. This is where it's coming from. It's coming from a Bina on the left side. So he says, so he goes in, apparently it's lit up in front of the RASHASH is all these lights where he can identify all the different places that the extensions of how it comes down towards us. It's ultimately going into Bina, and it has to go through Bina, it has to go through the Chochma, the Kesser to Bina, and it has to go to the Kesser of the Chochma, and it's on the Ach, the Ach. Now, why it's on the Ach, I'm not sure, but it's on the back of the back. So he says the Bina, the Nuk, then he says furthermore. So always getting through those addresses is like a real challenge because it's just so much outer space. So he said the Bina, the Nuk, Shehi, Hey. Now he says that look at the Hey because I think he's going to do something with this down below in the little drawings to try to figure this out. So he says now the Hey, the normal surah of the Hey is Resh Yud. That's one surah, which is 210, which is actually 10 times Akyeh Pashut, but let's go on. He says, Im Havav Naase Rayo. But you add to it a Vav, and it makes a Rayo. So, where's the Vav come from? Daz Niten Ba Koach, and this is the rest of the drush actually that we've been learning there, because now there's enough strength for Alos Bezikifos to bring her up upright, as Nekudas Habeshababriya, the Atzilus, to bring it into Atzilus. So if we look backwards just a little bit and we go to the olive to the konet that's at the top with the strange olive, and then the sags and the numbers, we come down that all of this shefa is going into this letter hey. Now he says some things about this letter hey that are not so easy for me to see. So he says you're getting the vav, the lagabe ha hey. Now he said that. Question is, where does the vav come from? So he said, well, the Vav is the channel, so the Naasa Rayo, and that's how you make Rayo. So now we come over here and it says Lahamshik Mevok. We're going to take this from the Vok Shuhu Vav, which is the Vav. So we take the Vok, and what we're trying to do, Shisha Oros, and this little piece right here, information that I don't have. He says Shisha Oros, Miyud Vav Oros, the Lamed base, Nesivus Dechelka. So now he told us a rule. He says that Zera Anpin comes into Zera Anpin 16 of the 32 Nisivas Achach. Shisha Osios Meyud Vav. So you take 6 of those, which is a Vav. The Lamed base Nisivas Achelko, And you take it this laos hey to this letter hey, which he said you could make it in Shedda Surah like this, which is the re. Then asim beis vavim. Now there's a question: how do you make beis vav? I don't see beis vav in here. I didn't see where these ways. So he says you turn this in though to two vavs and a yud. So the only place that I can see this, he has a little drawing of it down below. Is that another? It's another surah. Let me see if I can get that up. I don't have it here. He has another surah down at the bottom, and he says so at the very bottom where it's vav, then it looks like a resh and a yud, and then another vav. So he says, and then he shows you right next to it a vav with a vav on the top and a yud, and that's a hey. So that's the one he's talking about. I don't know exactly where that was explained, but that's what he's got. So let's go to Asin base vav into yud. That's the drawing on the left at the bottom. Misbar kaf bet. So that gives you a count of 22 because those are 22 letters we're putting in. So he says, well, those 22 letters. Here, let me tell you how we got there. You start out with the Yud Vav Oros, which are parts of the portion I guess is there on, but he says Chelka, her portion. Milamed based the Sivas of the 32 paths. The Od Vav Yisserim, but then you need another six to get to 22. Those are your 22 letters that are going in. You need a Vav Yisserim, you need another six. Shenitosva Ba, the says Ba, Koach, the Ha'atzil, as Shis Hechelin, the Bria, Shalamata Rabimana. So you need another Vav. The Haim Shis, or what is that other Vav? There are six lights, Shenosin La Koach, that come in to give her the strength, Lahotzi as a Shif Hechelos Shatataho, to bring out the six Hechelos that are below her. Excuse me. Now, some ideas in there are missing. I didn't quite understand where the Vav came from, except that it's to say that Zeranpin transports this into the final Hey, which is the Nukva. And then he says in the very bottom print, the little print, he says Vav Zu, this Vav, which is of course Zeranpin. And then he shows us this Vav, the Vav with the Raya. And he shows you again Shisha Oros La'atzil Vav Hechelin Shatachteho. So you need these six lights that comes from this the Vav, I guess the Vav. I don't know which Vav it is. And he says Shatachteho Yud Vav Chalokim. Yud Vav, excuse me, Vav Hechelin, excuse me, that's what he's saying. He says you take six of the 16 that he originally had. That is where they're not from his portions of the Sivas of Chochmah. There's a whole lima there. So I don't know about the Sivas of Chochmah, how it gets divided up into 16, maybe 16 and 16, some to him, some to her, I'm not sure. He said, but at any rate, you take six of the 16, and that's the Vav that you add into this that makes it into Raya. That's the best I could do with that. And so let's go over to, for some reason the camera's working now. I don't know. I don't know. So let's go over here. Let's see. I said that we should go over on page ratio, but that's not where we're at actually. Well, let's go to number Tzadi Aleph on page ratio bet. We'll try to. Let me read across the top just to see. I didn't mark it. So I'm sorry about that. So I said we just read across the Zehu Inin Milas Atah. So we wanted to say the two words Baruch. Baruch is calling out to the Adni, which is down below, and you're pouring Shefa into that, and then Ata is bringing the 22 letters, and here we go. So like he said, for the word Ata itself, you can see that it can be divided into three letters, At, which are two separate combinations, At and K. Pi'at, that represents the 22 letters from Aleph to Tov. Asvam, Sheyesh Min Aleph Ad Tov. Okay, so it said that Aleph base. Now what about the Hey? The Haim Osius, there's 5 extra letters. Those are the Osius called Mansapach. Okay, we'll have a little break here. I don't know what time it is. I think that might have been time. That was probably time. Okay, so we went through the Rashash and lot. Oops, coming back. Rebbe, thanks for coming back. How much more time do we have? 2 minutes? All right. 1 minute. Okay, so let's finish this up. So he says what's putting in is 22 plus 5, and the 5 is the Mansapach. Hayeseri. Those are the double letters. The Indian, the Rayo, Sheyesh Ado. So with the Rayo, we want to talk about them. In Shloshapam Mem Rayo. That's 3 times Rayo. Commotion Emer. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. We'll have to look at that. It's a Shavuvar. So we're going to explain it. Arisha hu ki tekaven ki ata hu b'gematria too. The first thing you have to take is like this. The gematria of what is we have the gematria of 406 Canadian Rayot Spach. Now that's the 3 last letters of the Mansapach. But Inin who the In is like this kikab of the same who the Hamtek is a Mansapach. That's what we want to sweeten that. Shal Hamalchus al Yudei Horedis Zeh Hamansapach. Ramaz of a Hey Shal Ata in Nizkar, and we'll get into it next year. Go to.